Okay, so I'm writing this piece for Vice. The idea initially came to me because I was having a terrible time trying to buy shoes um,
Hmm.
that were my size. And yeah, after going to like four stores and finding two pairs that would even fit me and that were definitely not what I was looking for, and then buying like five on Amazon to send back for. I was like, this sucks, and I'm
Yeah,
sure it sucks for other people too. So I just pitched them.
you are not alone.
Right, absolutely not. And yeah, so that was my original pitch, and I kind of developed from there. So I just have a bunch of questions, about um, gender nonconforming people's relationship with clothing. I think which is always very ambiguous and kind of a love hate thing, at least in my experience, as a part of identity, as uh, as difficulty, as reassurance. And yeah, and getting into specifics about those things. So that's kind of the map of where we're going. How does that sound?
That sounds great. Yeah, thanks for doing that. That's really cool.
Okay, so just to get kind of basics out of the way, first is this article is not that long, and I'm talking to several people, so things will probably be edited down really heavily. So just to let you know, you'll be saying a
That's
lot of
cool.
wonderful things that will never appear, which is the world's loss.
So,
Um,
yeah.
uh, and yeah, let's start with your name, your preferred pronouns, and the kind of the identity terms that you use for yourself.
Totally. My name is Roxanne Sticks. I prefer she, her pronouns. I like to use words like queer, the gender queer, trans feminine, trans woman. Uh, yeah, I think those are the words that I like.
Okay, great. Um, oh, and also location. Big.
Oh, I am currently in Berkeley, California, although most of my experience is in Seattle. I'm just down here temporarily.
Okay, so we should go with Seattle if a place is named.
Yeah,
Okay.
totally.
And Cassie says hi, by the way.
Oh, hi.
I mean, not directly. She's gone right now, but
Oh,
yeah. But she did say it. Tell Roxy hi. So,
cool. I believe you.
okay,
I
good.
mean, it's pretty suspect, but I believe you.
Thanks. I appreciate it. So my first
Um,
question.
what,
Oh, go ahead.
what pronouns do you like to use?
They them.
Okay, cool.
And yeah, I mostly use genderqueer. Sometimes I just kind of settle for non-binary because it's, I don't know, more people are aware of it, or it seems less confusing to people sometimes. But but
Yeah.
I don't know. Trans femme holds more and more. I've never actually used it outside of a kind of select circle of people, but it's
Totally.
becoming more and more appealing. So we'll see what happens.
Beautiful. I feel that.
Uh, oh, and I just love your Instagram feed, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I'm always like, oh my god, she's so hot. She looks so good.
I really enjoy that. So thanks.
Okay, so first question is a pretty broad one. How do you see clothing, fashion, accessories, all kind of in one? We'll just say clothing, to include all of that as part of your identity, as something that shapes your identity, or that um, you use to present your identity.
Yeah, I mean, I think about those things a lot, and I think that clothing and the things that we put on our bodies has so much to do with how we understand ourselves and what we want to communicate. I'm also a costume designer, so I work a lot with fabric and clothing, and I enjoy that work because in making costumes, and I feel the same way about like the way that I dress. Is that I feel like your clothes and the things that you wear begin to have a relationship with you and with your body, and the clothes and what you're wearing like becomes about you in a way. Um, yeah, and I think it's interesting. Like, I mean, you're thinking about like how we feel and conceptualize ourselves internally, and how it's like a struggle to express that feeling externally and to have that seen and understood, let alone like respected or valued or whatever. And I think I think if you look at it that way, clothes are kind of right in the middle. Like it's it's the barrier between the internal and the external, with your body, of course.
Is that? Do you have more to say on that? I don't want to cut you off, or just like throw a next question at you if you have more to say.
No, I think that was enough.
Okay, so more concretely here, what was the first article of clothing that you started wearing that you felt as part of a newly expressed identity?
Hot pink lipstick, and I made this like necklace that was also like magenta with this kind of like spacey, purpley magenta-y kind of like glass crystal.
That's really amazing.
So yeah, those two things.
So that was accessories before kind of clothing articles.
Yeah, or I mean, I guess like even before that, like I had like some experiences doing drag, but I'm not sure. I guess I'm not sure if that. What was the exact question again?
Oh, just what was the first article of clothing that or accessory that you started wearing that well for me I'll just so for me there was I borrowed one of Cassie's shirts and we took a walk in the park and I was freaking out the entire time because I was like, oh my god, this is so important. Like it took on so much more import than if somebody had just been like, oh, like let me grab this. Like I'm wearing a girl shirt today, like whatever. And we saw somebody that we knew, and I started like hyperventilating and just like started. So for me, that was the moment that I realized that there was something beyond in terms of my identity, that it was wrapped up much more closely than I thought in clothing. Yeah. So I guess that would be part of my answer.
Cool. Well, I think I stand by my response then as pink lipstick.
Okay. Yeah, excellent. Was there anything that you found particularly difficult to start wearing on a kind of emotional, social level?
On a what level?
Emotional or social level.
Yeah, I mean, it was difficult to start like wearing clothes that were designed for like air quotes female bodies or cis women essentially, because they just fit my body in like a really weird way, and they oftentimes serve to like kind of highlight the like how like manly my body is or was, So that was difficult, and yeah, and I think makeup too, because it's just like so. It's like on your face. It's in someone else's face.
Yeah. Nobody can really hide from that bright pink lipstick, right?
No. But I liked that too, because it was like it felt like a mask in a way, that it was like I want this to be obvious. I want this to be something that everyone sees when they look at me. I don't want this to be. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Yeah. So a similar question in phrasing, but quite different is there anything that you found particularly difficult to find? Something that you wanted to wear or had been looking forward to wearing, but like my shoes, right? Something that you had a
Totally.
hard time tracking down, or something that you have a hard time finding a fit for.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that was difficult to find was like the kind of stuff that I wanted to wear. You
Mm.
know, like I didn't really know what like how I wanted to look. You know, I didn't really have a sense of like what that style was. So, um, yeah, I think trying to find it like more internally than externally. But then like yeah, like jackets are really hard to
Mm-hmm.
find. Um, yeah, like jackets and like I mean even just like shirts or tops are like it can. I mean it's like I feel like it's like 1 out of 50 that I'm like okay yeah this looks cute.
Yeah, those aren't great numbers
No.
for any of us. Um, yeah, I feel like when I take tops into the dressing room, I have like 15. I'm like smuggling extra in, and then they
Yeah.
all go into the like the discard pile.
Oh yeah, you enter with so much hope, and you're like, oh my god, this is gonna be so great. I finally found stuff that I'm gonna like, and it's gonna look cool. And then just one by one, nope, 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 nope.
Yeah, I definitely relate. Do you have your? This is kind of like beside the point, but what's your like general size? It's always hard to tell from photos. Like medium height or
I'm pretty like small. Like I'm like 5'2" or 5'3". I feel like yeah, I'm like definitely like a small person, but I also feel sort of like I don't know, not like stocky, but I have like an athletic body as well.
mm-hmm. Does the height though open up certain things?
Does the height open up certain things?
Certain fits
Does it open up certain fits?
or like things that you find more easily because of your height.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think pants are like really easy for me. Like I've never had a hard time finding pants. Pants are no problem. I also don't have any problem at all finding shoes, just because my feet aren't that big. Sorry.
No, it's
Um,
my feet aren't big for my height, but I'm almost 6'1", so
yeah,
it's it's a struggle.
totally. Yeah, I mean, being like a short person, like it's really hard to dress in a way that doesn't make me look like a munchkin.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Um, yeah.
Yeah, or a giant for me. So yeah, I think perceptions of size are really interesting here.
Yeah.
With uh, androgyny being a particular kind of build and a particular kind of leanness.
Yeah.
Only when you look at it's like, oh, we have androgynous models. It's like, yeah, but it's a very particular kind of
Totally.
androgyny. Um, and like height, and as you're saying, like a certain kind of danger that you navigate with your height as well. I would like
Mm-hmm.
heels, of a certain kind, like not really stacked heels, but I can't wear, or I don't like to wear anything, or not looking for anything above an inch because I don't want to be any taller.
Yeah. Totally. Totally.
Yeah, and it's just not. Then it's not. As soon as you get outside of a certain um, uh, range, then you start getting into caricature mode. You use the word munchkin, right? And
Uh
that's
huh.
right. That's so emotionally brutal
Yeah.
to deal with.
Yeah. Totally. And it just like adds like a whole layer of like complexity and confusion to like how to just leave the house. You know.
Mm-hmm. And also, it makes it even harder to find um, clothing that works that
Yeah.
doesn't result in that kind of caricaturing.
Yeah, and there are very few like resources available in my experience for like helping like trans femme people specifically like shop or like these are like some things to know or like these are things that will be helpful or whatever.
Yeah, can you speak more to that actually, especially with your role of as a costume designer?
Yeah, I mean, I think that like when I first like started like dressing differently and presenting differently, I like first off like just like really loathe the shopping experience. Like it's just like not, especially at first, it was just really unpleasant being in stores.
Mm-hmm.
I think being in any environment that is like very explicitly gendered in like a men's section and a women's section like is just hard.
Mm-hmm.
And like it being like a place where you're trying to like shop was just like difficult, and I just like felt weird being in the stores, you know. And so I think that like I was like trying to do some research to just be like, okay, cool. Like, what should I do? Like, what kinds of things should I look for? How do I work with like my body? And like, obviously, like trans feminine people are certainly like not all the same. And so there isn't like, I mean, there like can't be one resource for all of us. But I think at the same time, like there are some things that seem to be like common. Like my rib cage is like more broad and large, like bone structure sort of stuff. So, like, okay, cool. Like, how do I work with that? Or like even just like from like a visual trickery sort of position, like what are some things that I can do to sort of like, yeah, just like not like minimize that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Or like make it like feel more blended or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's like some stuff out there, but it's like, oh cool, it's like blog post from like 2013 by someone that has much more of like a like binary identity. So it just like didn't really feel like it was really made any sense for me anyway, because like I'm not like a binary person who works in an office.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm certainly lucky in that I can like make myself stuff.
Yeah. Do you have so that you have like an entire um you just opened a business, is that correct?
Yeah, my partner and I just started a business doing hand-dyed silk curtains. But I've been working as like a costume designer and sort of like fashion designer for hire for years.
Hmm. One of my hopes is that a fairly maybe like a Slate or a Salon.com, something like that, will have a new column for like a gender nonconforming like advice column or like a sex column because all the questions are so different. Um, yeah, it's like where to shop for shoes, etc., etc. Like the questions go on, and there are so few resources and so few people to ask. And actually, in this, oh, go ahead.
And I think too, like something that I think I found like comforting is that like most like feminine people, regardless of like gender, like experience this sort of thing. Like most feminine people have a hard time shopping for clothes. Most feminine people feel really complicated about the clothes that they wear, and like you don't like it's not like this isn't like just something that trans people experience. Obviously, like there are very specific reasons that like we like struggle with clothing, but like like fat people have like a different experience, and tall people have a different experience, and it's just like it's just very pervasive.
Yeah, and even I think a lot about my own particular privilege within a gender nonconforming community that wants to dress a certain way, because even though I am tall, I'm like fit and athletic, and so I like a lot
Yeah,
of things work for me that might not work for another person. And so exactly
totally.
like a fat shopping experience plus, and not in a pejorative kind of way, plus gender nonconforming shopping experience like that at the same time, I can't even imagine. And so I'm frequently like extraordinarily
Yeah,
grateful, but also conflicted,
yeah, I feel that.
Um, so I'll toss out another question. Is there a piece or an article of clothing or whatever that gave you a particular kind of comfort or reassurance during and I mean this in a kind of ongoing way, so you can choose whatever moment you want, transitioning or coming out period?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, the thing, like, the thing that happened that, like, totally blew my mind, or, like, and it's, like, still, like, whenever it's, like, a look that I go for, it's just, like, oh my god, it just feels so good. But it's, like, the look that, and I feel like it was, like, this look that I saw so many, like, queer women rock for so many years now. I didn't even know that I wanted to look like that, but it's, like, when you wear, like, black, like, pantyhose or leggings with, like, black cutoff tight shorts over them. And, like, the first time that I, like, wore that, I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. I've, like, wanted to wear this outfit for such a long time. And, like, it looks rad. I feel so good. Yeah, it's like, and, like, still, like, every time I put on, like, that or any variation of that look, I'm just like, oh, fuck yeah, this is so great.
It's like a homecoming. It's like a base you can return to.
Yeah, and I think it was, like, probably, like, the first time that I ever felt, like, positive or, like, hopeful about, like, how I would, like, how I would or could dress, kind of, like, moving forward.
Mm-hmm. And the kind of the obverse of that is there something that you want to wear in the future, maybe that you're thinking about, uh, something that you're maybe working up towards?
I mean, honestly, like, right now, what I feel myself working up towards is, like, being okay wearing boyish things.
Mm.
Like, kind of, like, just very, like, I've always, like, felt like, or not always, but, like, I think after, like, maybe, like, the first year of hormones or whatever, and, like, all of, like, the fucking weird-ass clothing and style experiments that happened in that phase, I was sort of just like, oh, yeah, duh, I'm a tomboy. Obviously, I'm a tomboy. That makes a lot of sense. And, yeah, and I think that, like, I got really used to, like, trying to dress feminine, or used to, like, feminizing my appearance to, like, make myself appear more feminine, that I sort of, like, forgot that I kind of, yeah, that I like wearing boy clothes, you know? So it's like, okay, how do I, like, wear, yeah, or, like, is it possible for, like, me and, like, my body and, like, where it's at to, like, actually wear boy clothes in a way that, like, makes me feel good?
Hmm. That's a really great answer.
Thank you.
No, I love how that kind of flips the narrative on its head a little bit. Yeah, and that, yeah, I really feel that in a particular way because I play sports frequently, and it's just it can be so draining being, even though my teammates are really really understanding. I'm still like presenting completely masculine,
Yeah,
and all my athletic gear is just like kind of hyper masculine, and I come
totally.
home and I'm like, Where's my makeup? Like, I have to detox right now. But it would be
Yeah,
wonderful to get to a place where I would be completely comfortable, or mostly, or more even comfortable, um, in that space, because it doesn't have to um, feel like a thing I'm running from, or defining myself against entirely.
totally. And it's like, yeah, and like also like allowing myself to like just kind of have more of like a fuck it and fuck you attitude. Like I like how this looks, and that's why I'm gonna wear it. And like you can see what you want, and like I'm not gonna like that's not going to like dictate my life anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Which is certainly not the case. And I go in and out of like feeling that way. I thought of another thing, another article of something that's like really difficult. And that's just like, like wearing like yoga pants or like stretchy pants. Like I'm also like really, really active. Like I'm in clown school right now, so it's pretty much just like 7 hours a day of like studio movement,
Mm-hmm.
And like I would like love to be able to just wear like a pair of yoga pants or like stretchy pants. But I just like feel really, really uncomfortable with that because of like my genital bulge.
Yeah. Mm.
And I don't like to tuck at all. Like I've done it once. I'm just like not interested in that. Um, and like there's this part of me that like wants to just be okay and like wants to feel comfortable just being like, yeah, I'm wearing yoga pants and that's my dick. So
Yeah, yeah.
but it's
So
not currently a level of confidence that I like really have.
yeah, yeah. I'll hold that from the from the article. Um,
No, put it
oh,
in.
you want it in? Okay, okay. Well, if there's
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that like wearing the pants is not currently like a confidence that I have.
right, right. Yeah. Wow. I hate to end this conversation, but also I've been letting the conversations run long because I am finding such moments of kind of joy and hope and solidarity and empathy in
Uh,
them that I want to just keep talking, but the transcription is getting out of control, and I have to get this published in like 3 days. So,
okay.
so yeah. But thank you so much for sharing. It
Yeah,
was
of course.
delightful, and
I like also really enjoyed it. I mean, it's just like really, really nice to talk with someone who has like some sort of like similar like identity feeling. And if you ever want to like kick it or hang out, let me know.
okay, definitely. And are you going? You said you're in Berkeley, but you're going back to Seattle after your.
In May, yeah.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be down here until May.
Yeah, well, I mean, we were in Seattle
Oh, cool.
this, I guess it was in July, and it's likely that we'll do another West Coast trip next summer, so maybe we'll cross paths.
Yeah, please hit me up.
Will do. Okay, thanks so much, and I'll see you on Instagram.
Alrighty, sounds good.
Okay, bye.
Bye.